Okay, I did not expect to be this happy over the win, honestly, because I'm still a little bit upset about the Toronto loss that we had. I was a little bummed that Joel Embiid wasn't here, and I thought to myself, how are we going to defend Blake Griffin, Andre Drummond? What about our offense? We really don't have that many scorers. How are we going to be able to score without one of our main guys, especially someone who can stretch the court? But this team battled, and they allowed 41 points in the second quarter and a mild run for the Pistons right before the half. Then we were down 15 in the second half. But we allowed 22 points in the third quarter, only 21 points in the fourth, some big-time blocks down the stretch, great defense down the stretch, Jimmy Butler down the stretch. This team really showed emotion and fight. Brett Brown said after the game, this was the best win of the season because we know how great we are at home, but to do this away, to do this in another team's building when you're down 15 in the second half, to really come together and fight back and not give up, that's special. And without your superstar, you're essentially almost MVP of the entire league. To do it without him, it just tastes even sweeter. At one point during this game, I texted my buddy. I said, dude, there's no chance we win right now. We were down like 12 in the second half. I said, there's no way. How are we going to? Well, we made a 20-3 run in the third quarter. No TJ McConnell and no Furkan Korkmaz ever touched the court during that time. Does that mean anything? I'm just pointing it out there. I'm just pointing it out. It says a lot to me, though, that Furkan Korkmaz only played 4 minutes in a game like tonight. That sticks out to me. Something else that sticks out to me, Landry Shamet. We're starting to maybe see that there's some flaws there. Not that we didn't know that to begin with. We know he's a really young player, and I'm not bashing him at all. But he's been a little bit quieter recently, and I think maybe it's showing. It's showing that he's definitely a rookie. Why am I talking about the guys who barely played? Let's talk about this. Jimmy Butler, 38, 6 and 6, over 20 points in the second half. Ben Simmons with, what did he finish? 18, 14, and 6. Now, J.J. Redick struggled insanely all night long, but in the fourth quarter, he had a big 3 with a couple minutes left and a really tough 2-pointer that he made. So, yeah, he wasn't hot, that's for sure. Not one of his hottest nights. But what do veteran players do when they need to? They make the shots. They make the shots. Blake Griffin. Let's talk about a little bit of Blake Griffin. Man, he's a hate to face right now. Especially after he dropped a 50 bomb on us earlier in the season. He was getting to the free throw line at will. I kind of thought that he would, clearly, without someone like Joel Embiid and knowing we had to throw guys like Amir Johnson at him, Wilson Chandler at him, some of these guys who are not as physical as Blake Griffin. But he really lived there tonight. He got there at will. He took 24 free throws, hit 17 of them. He was just lowering his shoulder and doing whatever. He was a hate the face for me tonight. He's so annoying, him and Jimmy Butler getting at it. Jimmy got a technical for the Sixers, in favor of the Sixers. The technical was on Blake Griffin late in this game because as Blake was trying to grab a rebound, he like smacked Jimmy in the face. It was so soft, but guess what? I loved it. I definitely loved it. It's funny because I said this in the beginning. I was not expecting to be this excited about a win. I mentioned how I don't care if we don't beat the good teams. Who cares if we beat these lesser opponents? But I just really loved how this team came together. And it's easy to give up when you're down double digits. Almost 20 points in an away building. It's easy to give up. I really believe that Jimmy Butler has changed this locker room and changed the culture. He even talked about it after the Toronto Raptors loss. I don't care that I dropped 38. I want to win. Jimmy Butler showed that to us in this game. The guy just wants to win. Ben Simmons was getting interviewed before the game. Jimmy is teaching me so much. I am developing at a high rate because of what Jimmy Butler has provided for this locker room and for me personally. You see it in victories like this. If you have Robert Covington, Dario Saric still on this floor right now, we're not winning that game. We have a different mentality. Now, do I agree with Joel Embiid sitting this game? Yes. Do I think that there were maybe smarter times to do it? If you're going to rest the guy because you know he gets fatigued easy, why not during the 75 back-to-backs we already had in the beginning of the year? I think he needed rest. You can clearly see that after last game. But were there maybe better times to think about that? Yeah, I do agree with that. This was a character win. The team never died. Players stepped up. Mike Muscala. I mean, come on now. Really? He was a dog tonight. Hitting some threes. Scoring the points. Coming up clutch on day. I love the way we played defense in the second half. To allow 41 in the second quarter. 22 in the third. 21 in the fourth. And really, the last couple minutes, the last few minutes of that basketball game, you saw elite defense. Big-time blocks. Steals. Bodying up defenders. They flipped the switch. I wish they could play like that for 48. Because, man, oh, man, would it be something special. But they flipped the switch. They didn't die. And it was a remarkable win. It was a true test of character without the MVP of the league. And I'll say that. I'll say it. Without the MVP of the league, I think we handled business. Because that's not easy. He is one of our go-to guys when it comes to scoring. And I know we talk about how much this team doesn't have scoring and doesn't have depth. And the Pistons aren't the Golden State Warriors. I understand that. But they're well coached. They do have players who can score the basketball and who can take over games. Really, Blake Griffin, but they're not a horrendous basketball team. And I do believe that they're well coached. So I'm not going to downplay this one. I give credit to our squad. I give credit for Jimmy Butler stepping up and being a leader. And Ben. You know, he's used to being the point guard. He had to play a little bit of everything. He had to play different positions, guard different positions. And he was nice tonight. He was solid. Let me know what you think down below. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.